So you've got your cell tray.
I've got the cell tray. You can see this is one, it's not a new one, I've used it before, but we just dunk them in water and give them a quick swish out. And I think our dear cameraman's going to have fun watching me do this, because he might have to do it over my shoulder.
Oh, up close and personal.
Whoa! Come and have a look. Okay, so here I have my compost, and you can see it's a bit like a cake mixture, but it's not sloppy, it's not too wet. I want to get rid of any hard bits like that. I often get hard bits of stuff in compost, so this is, I'm not going to sift it because I want it to have a few lumps in it, but not too many big lumps. And all I do is I trickle the compost into the cell tray. And if you wriggle your fingers as you go, you actually get rid of the few lumps that are in it. Now that's filled half of it. I'm just going to give it a tap. That helps to firm the soil down. Another tap. Now you'll notice that the corners are always the bits that tend to droop down a bit. The soil goes down in the corners a bit. So just to facilitate that, put a bit on, give a little tap from the top and another. It also helps bring up any lumps, and you can clean those off the top as well, because you don't want those there. They're just going to get in the way. And there it is, a cell tray full of compost. What you need to do now is you need to water it. So take it outside, put it on the ground, get a can with a rose on it and give it a good old sprinkle over the top with a rose. Then leave it to soak for an hour. So you've got your cuttings waiting for an hour, you've got your compost waiting for an hour. At the end of that hour, we can get on. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Of course you did. And you knew where it was.
Can you believe it? Yeah, and I knew where it was. Now we have a little rooting hormone in this delightful little old paste jar. And you can see here it is. It's quite gloopy. I'm not going to pour it straight out. But it's a good thing. It's a rooting hormone that helps to stop rotting.
What is it?
I've forgotten.
And he says he knows what everything is. I tell you what, for once I know, because it's behind me. Clonex.
Yeah, Clonex, call it what you will. Potatoes, tomatoes and all the rest of it.
And it's gloopy, it's gel. Lots of people will have powder rooting hormone.
Yes.
Does that matter?
Well, there's an interesting... No, I don't think it does matter. There's an interesting thing about... and this is one of in Christopher Lloyd's old books. And for those people that don't know, Christopher Lloyd was the owner of Great Dixter, the garden in East Sussex, which... He was so innovative in his planting and inspirational, at least to me and lots of other people as well. And he was a very parsimonious gardener. He didn't spend money unless he really had to. And he used to keep his rooting powder, which is what he used, from year to year. And one of his students said to him one day, I think if you refreshed it, you would find that it's much, much more potent. And he said, and I did. And it was, and I hate to admit it, but he was right. So, it doesn't really matter what you use, but I think what you've got to say is don't keep it too long.
Yeah.
So,
go to all that effort, you might as well spend a few quid on a new pot.
Yeah, exactly. So
and if you really swish, you can take it out of this and put it into a sweet little pretty pot that fits so well in this gorgeous potting shed.
Do you know what that contained?
What did it have in it?
Beef paste. From a well-known supermarket, which I love to have on toast in the mornings for breakfast. Now, isn't that you know all my secrets. This is terrible.
Good bit of recycling as well.
Yeah. Anyway, well, they're so good. These little pots are so useful because I use them to store seeds in the winter as well. Because
Great
once
idea.
the seeds are dried, nice little pot, screw on, cool place, in the dark, done. Let's plant our Cinerera maritima. And here they are. They look rather prepossessing at the moment, but I can assure you that they will. Right, a quick dip in the rooting hormone, and I don't even have to make a hole because these are so firm you can just push them into the cutting mixture.
So if you had something a little bit more mimsy, something a little bit more pathetic, it might need you to make a hole first.
I'll show you how to do that, shall I? I have a pencil for labelling. It's a tube of graphite, really. Especially, it's a soft pencil, which I find lasts better on white labels than any of the so-called ones that don't fade, because they do eventually. And I use the tip of the pencil into the compost. There's the hole. Dip my cutting in the rooting mixture. Make sure that your cutting is on the bottom of the hole, because you don't want that bottom of that cutting suspended in midair, because nothing will happen. and just give it a little push on the side to make sure that it's firmed in. And it really is as simple as that. So if you'd rather make a hole, you can. But when you're doing hundreds of cuttings, you know, who's got time? It's just, yeah, just do it very, very quickly. And so we'll just do the tray of these, and then we'll show you where they go on the warm bench. And you can see some pelargoniums that I took a few weeks ago that have rooted, and some other plants that are on there, which I must say at the moment, you might despair if you saw them, even if you haven't done it before. But don't be a person of little faith. Have faith and you will be rewarded. So there you are. All I've got to do now is to write a label, and here we are.
With your nice pencil.
Yep. Cineraria maritima. And don't think for one moment that you remember. So I don't need to write a label, I remember what's in there, because 6 weeks later you'll scratch your head and say, damn, I should have written that label.